Good morning and welcome to the June release of Public 360, also labeled as version 6.5. Today we have a lot of new and exciting features, modules, functionalities that we want to share with you. Today's speaker list will be myself. It will be Morten Lerfald, who will be talking about our new OpenGov offering. It will be Panu Kiskula, who will be presenting a new module for Sign Sweden and also some updates on how we do redaction. It will be Olga Safanova, who will be talking about new and improved capabilities in our integration, and it will be Ville Koch, who will both be talking about general improvements and specifically on eArchive. I hope that you will find this presentation informative, but as always, we will not be able to cover everything that we have done, so please have a read at the release information page that we also are publishing. During this event, please use the Q&A section if you have questions. We will try to answer as many as possible during the event. If we cannot manage to answer them all, then we will do so after the event and make sure to publish the entire questions and answers. We will also publish the entire release event and the video recording. Our mission remains the same. This is about improving working life for public servants and the daily life for citizens. This is what we do. This is what we constantly try to improve and to focus on. Underneath that vision, we have 5 different pillars. Proactive decision support, which is about ensuring that our customers navigate key areas within their work with ease and confidence, either suggesting or hinting at decisions. It's about automations and transparency, providing real-time updates to all stakeholders, and also how you enable transparency towards the wider audience. It's about intuitive design, having a good and uniform user experience across all the different touch points, all different devices. Here, of course, is also our whole design system plays a really important part. We are focused on the case and document management in public sector Nordic. This is what we do really well, and we constantly also strive to add that competence into the standard capabilities of our products in the expert domain knowledge. And then last but not least, everything that we do, we want to make in a sustainable and ethical way. This is both how we develop software, but it's also the types of solutions that we release to the market. If you try to translate this into this particular release, then on the proactive decision support, we are announcing extensions in Order Server, as long as several other integration points. On automated and transparent, we have maybe the main of this presentation is the release of OpenGov. We are also now announcing support for redaction of all files, also outside the Information Act Request module. And we have done other improvements in access request as well. On intuitive design, we are now supporting a new way of doing global configurations of result list in web parts, and Ville Koch will talk more about this. Domain knowledge, we have done improvements in the WebCruiter integration. We are doing support for new QR codes for scanning of documents, first line in text in email replies. And then on sustainable and ethical, we are supporting Plan and Build, as well as doing other improvements for Mimir. We are announcing a new module for signing in Sweden. And then we are now supporting extended logging in the 360 admin. This is still in pilot, but it's a very important and very sought after feature. And Ville Koch will be talking more about this. This is the overall concept, and now let's dive into the details. So I mentioned that a main part of this release, of this release event, is the announcement of OpenGov Cases and Documents. And Morten, do you want to take it from here?
Yes, please. Thank you. We're excited to finally introduce 360 OpenGov in Documents, a modern publishing solution helping the public sector become more transparent, efficient, and trusted. So next slide, please, if you will. This release marks the first step in a phased rollout of modules, available sources, and hosting options. It introduces support for Public 360 Online and the portal itself, hosted as software as a service on the latest version. Next slide, please. So why OpenGov 360? At its core, 360 OpenGov is about enhancing transparency, efficiency, and public trust, which in turn, in the long term, helps strengthen democracy. So OpenGov is a strategic platform that helps customers move towards full transparency step by step, build internal confidence in the publishing process, and become proactive leaders in open governance, not just compliant. Next slide, please. So what makes OpenGov stand out? It aligns with public access laws while simplifying real-time publishing. It unifies publishing across the entire 360 product suite. It makes setup and quality control easier, ensuring efficiency. And it supports many new configuration options, as well as manual, semi-automated, or fully automated publishing, providing a lot of flexibility. It's fully brandable, and it supports multiple languages. And if you combine all of the above, it enables more and smarter publishing, which builds transparency and trust. Next slide, please. So a new level of transparency. OpenGov 360 expands what, how, and when information is published. You can now publish based on your own rules, using metadata, even at file level. Controlling the publishing method, for example, automatic versus manual, creates a positive feedback loop where you might want to start with more manual control. And after some time, you might get an idea of where quality is strong and where it's lacking. And after some evaluation, you might want to maybe increase automatic publishing in the areas where quality is good, and then focus your or target your efforts into improving areas where quality is lower. And with automatic updates and depublishing, only compliant content stays available, promoting both efficiency and security. Next slide, please. Let's have a look at the demo and see the product in action. So next slide, if you will.
Welcome to 360 OpenGov Cases and Documents, the solution that helps public sector organizations manage and publish documents efficiently and transparently. In this short demo, you'll get a quick overview of how it works, from setting the rules to configuring the portal, and how it empowers your organization to lead in open governance. 360 OpenGov is more than a publishing tool. It's a centralized platform that simplifies and automates the publication of cases and documents across all of our main products. It ensures compliance with public access principles, enhances transparency, and builds public trust. With flexible publishing rules, real-time previews, and a user-friendly interface, It supports organizations at every stage of their transparency journey, from manual to fully automated publishing. Let's take a closer look at the public-facing side of 360 OpenGov, the portal your citizens will interact with. From the moment users land on the start page, they're welcomed by a clean, intuitive interface. The layout is fully customizable, from the logo and colors to the welcome message and footer links, allowing each organization to reflect its identity and values. At the heart of the portal is its search functionality. Users can instantly view recently published items, or quickly navigate via useful links. Use free text search to quickly find specific cases or documents. Users can dive deeper with advanced search, filtering by fields like case type, document category, or dates. Once results appear, users can explore the following directly in the result list. Cases, which show metadata about the case, including contacts and the documents. Documents, which include metadata and downloadable files, request access functions, and more. Users can navigate to the detail pages from search results to access a focused view of metadata and related elements. In this example, we begin at the case detail view, move to the associated document, and then return to the case. This demonstrates the intuitive navigation flow and the ease of accessing relevant information, regardless of the user's starting point. If a document or file is restricted, it's clearly indicated and the Request Access button appears automatically. This applies even to public documents if just one file is restricted. It helps customers stay compliant with freedom of access laws by making restrictions transparent and easy to act on. The request process is guided, includes email verification, and simplifies access management while meeting legal requirements. The About page provides helpful context, including FAQs, portal usage tips, and more, helping users understand what's available and how to interact with the portal. Every element of the portal is designed to be accessible, efficient, and aligned with your transparency goals, making it easier than ever to engage the public with confidence. Now let's look behind the scenes at how administrators can configure and manage the 360 OpenGov portal. The portal admin interface is designed to be intuitive and flexible, giving organizations full control over how their portal looks and functions. With just a few clicks, admins can customize the design, including colors, fonts, and default language to match their organization's branding. Configure the header and footer, uploading logos, editing menu options, and adding contact details or accessibility links. Tailor the start page, deciding whether to show search results by default, and customizing welcome messages or useful links. The Request Access page is also fully configurable. Admins can enable or disable the feature, customize the order form and email confirmations, and define how requests are received and processed internally. On the About page, admins can add FAQs, multilingual content, and helpful information to guide users. Admin roles are clearly separated. Design admins handle layout and content. The user admins manage access and permissions. Every logged-in user can manage their profile and password securely. This level of configurability ensures that each organization can create a portal that's not only compliant and functional, but also welcoming, informative, and aligned with their transparency goals. Let's continue exploring behind the scenes, the 360 admin interface, and its powerful publishing rules. This is where administrators define exactly what gets published, how it's presented, and when it becomes available to the public. Publishing rules are highly configurable and can be tailored for the element's cases, documents, files, and contacts. For each element, admins can set conditions based on metadata to control the publishing individually. This ensures that only the right information is published at the right time and in the right way. Administrators have the option to generally define a publishing delay or to pause publishing, publish from date or intervals, how long information should be published. For case, they can set general settings like not to publish a case before first document is published, options for how to present title if restricted, And what default screening text should be used for case titles. Publishing rules include archive series, case types, case statuses, access codes, journal units, and more. For document, they can set general settings similar to case, and publishing rules include document archives, document category, document status, access code, and more. For files, administrators can define if file publishing should be turned on, and if so, if presence of restricted files should be visible, and what default title these should have. Allow or disallow search in file content. Publishing rules include file variant, with option to set prioritized order and valid file formats. When it comes to the visibility of case and document contacts, whether internal or external, public or restricted, there are extensive configuration options to match your organization's needs. You can choose visibility levels ranging from Do Not Display to show name, organization, and role, depending on the scenario. It's also possible to define default screen text for contacts that are restricted, ensuring clarity while maintaining privacy. 360 OpenGov supports both manual and automated publishing, allowing organizations to start with more control and gradually move toward automation as confidence in quality grows, which could enable a positive feedback loop towards more transparency. Some examples. For documents, users can choose between fully automatic or manual publishing. If manual is selected, they can either publish all documents after review or selectively publish only those that meet specific criteria. This flexibility supports quality control while streamlining the publishing process. For files, it's possible to publish only selected ones. This is especially useful when you're unsure about full-text publishing but confident that certain files meet quality standards. File publishing will then apply only to those that match the defined criteria, giving you more control and flexibility over what is made public. The publishing dashboard is used when manual publishing is enabled. It gives reviewers a clear overview of what's ready for publishing and review. Key features include inline editing of titles and access codes, a built-in file viewer for quick verification, a public preview mode to see exactly how content will appear once published. And with direct publishing from the dashboard, the process is not only thorough, it's fast and efficient. This level of control and flexibility helps organizations reduce errors, improve quality assurance, and build trust in their publishing processes. As we finish up, it's important to remember, 360 OpenGov Cases and Documents is more than just a publishing tool. It's a transformational platform that empowers public sector organizations on their journey toward greater transparency, enabling smarter publishing, controlled access, and compliance with freedom of information principles. First, it enables a step-by-step journey toward full transparency. Whether you're just starting or already advanced, the platform adapts to your pace, supporting both manual and automated publishing. Second, it builds internal confidence in publishing processes. With clear rules, real-time previews, and centralized dashboards, they can trust the quality and accuracy of what's being shared. And third, it helps agencies become proactive leaders in open governance. By making information accessible, understandable, and timely, you strengthen public trust and engagement. With 360 OpenGov, you're not just meeting compliance, you're setting a new standard for openness and accountability. We're excited to see how you'll use this platform to drive meaningful change. Thank you for joining us.
Right. I hope that was informative and inspiring at the same time. So just to wrap it up, going to reiterate what's available now. So it's available for Public 360 Online on version 6.5. As software as service, and that also goes for the OpenGov portal itself. And what's coming next in the next version is support for eArchive 360, also as software as a service. And yeah, just a call to action, contact any of us for a demo or just talk about how OpenGov can be used to your benefit. I might also share this video in the comments, just in case if you want to look at it again or share it with some of your colleagues. Yeah, just contact us and we're more than happy to talk with you. And to wrap it up, 360 OpenGov is more than a module. It's a platform for change and unlocking strategic value. Thank you.
Thank you, Morten. Truly inspirational. And I hope that you also appreciate, as Morten also talked about here, that we are trying to set a new bar for how you deal with transparency, staying as open as possible while still having full control and gradual transition towards a public administration that by default is transparent rather than the opposite. But we all appreciate, of course, that this is a journey. Super excited about this. Speaking of things to be excited about, we will now talk about signing and a new module for 360 Sign, targeted primarily at the Swedish market, but also some general principles here. Panu, do you want to enlighten us?
Yes, thank you. So yes, we do have a new module for our Swedish customers. And as Morten said, the name of the new module is 360 Sign Sweden. Yep, next slide, please. And with 360 Sign Sweden, we are able to provide a seamless digital signing experience. And to explain the position of the 360 Sign Sweden module, 360 is of course where we have the cases and the documents, and the e-signing Connect module we use for integrating 360 with digital signing services. It allows e-signing workflows to be started from 360, and it transfers the signed documents back from the signing service. But the new module, 360 Sign Sweden, is the signing service. Signers will use 360 Sign Sweden for actually digitally signing the documents. Yes, next slide, please. And why is signing documents digitally important? Well, firstly, anyone who reads your signed documents will be able to trust the origin of the documents. That means that the reader can trust that the document has been really signed by the signers. And also, anyone who reads the documents will be able to trust the integrity of the documents. And this means that the reader can trust that the document has not been altered since it was signed. And you are able to get documents signed a lot faster compared to getting them signed on paper and then scanning those signed papers. We are moving from a matter of days to a matter of hours or even minutes. And the signatures done by using 360 Sign Sweden will be compliant with European Union eIDAS legislation and also local legislation as well. And of course, it's always important to decrease the use of paper, and for this, digital signing is naturally important. Yes, next slide, please. And quickly explaining how this works. So first, you start the signing process for your document in 360 user interface, and the document is then transferred into 360 Sign Sweden. The signers will get a notification message and will be easily able to access 360 Sign Sweden, where they can read the document and sign it or decline from signing. The signed file is then automatically transferred from 360 Sign Sweden to 360, and from there you can of course continue to publish and deliver your documents. And you can get all your documents signed, including, for example, meeting protocols for political decision making, agreements and contracts, and documents containing decisions for individual cases. 360 Sign Sweden is based on the signing product from our partner Confact, and this whole e-signing experience is already familiar to some of our customers who have earlier purchased the signing product directly from Confact. And going forward, we will of course work closely with our partner for ensuring successful deliveries and a high-value e-signing roadmap for the future. And next, a short video showing how this looks like in practice.
Here in 360, we have an outbound document ready for signing. To begin the signing process, simply press the Send for Signing button. Next, you can choose a due date for the signing, such as 1 week from today. The correct signers are automatically selected based on the document's recipients. Once everything is set, just click Submit, and the signing workflow will begin. In the 360 desktop, you can monitor all active signing workflows by using the Sent Signature Requests web part. By selecting a specific workflow, you'll see detailed information and the current status, such as which signers have completed their part and who still needs to sign. Next, let's look at how a signer completes a signing task. Each signer receives an email notification about the pending signing task. The email includes a direct link to access the task in 360 Sign Sweden. Before proceeding, the signer must authenticate. Multiple authentication methods are supported, with Swedish Bank ID being one of the most commonly used. Other supported authentication methods include the SITH Smart Card and one-time email password. After successful authentication, the signer gains access to 360 Sign Sweden, where the document awaiting signature is displayed. Here, the signer can easily review the document's contents and decide whether to sign or decline. The user experience is designed to be clear and intuitive, making it easy even for occasional users to complete the process with confidence. To sign, the signer simply clicks the Sign button and confirms the action. And now the document has been digitally signed. Next, the signed document is automatically transferred back into 360. Depending on your configuration, the file will be either saved as a new version for the original document or as a new incoming document. Let's take a look at the signed file. 360 Sign Sweden appends an extra page to the document, containing detailed information about the signatures added, including names of the signers and timestamps for the signatures. Applications like here Adobe Acrobat Reader also offer tools to validate these signatures. By validating, the reader can confirm the authenticity of the signatures and ensure that the document has not been altered since it was signed.
Yes, quite simple and easy. And then some last words about 360 Sign Sweden. So what we now have is a one-stop shop for e-signing for our Swedish customers, covering the whole signing process from start to end, giving your documents that layer of digital trust. 360 Sign Sweden comes with a simple transaction-based pricing based on the amount of signatures done. Both modules, 360 Sign Sweden and eSigning Connect, can be gotten from Tietoevry. Yes, and moving onwards, this next item is about the Information Act request module. And the Information Act request in this release has now been extended. You will be able to redact files for all cases by using the module. Because until now, the use of the redaction tools has been limited to only documents which are under access to request cases. But in this release, we have extended it so that you will be able to redact files everywhere in the system. And this means that now it's easier than ever to protect sensitive data in 360, also allowing users to manage redacting files independently. Next slide, please. And this is based on the redaction toolset, which is already familiar to customers who have been using the Information Act request module. You will be able to use tools like text selection and search for redacting sensitive or confidential contents from the files. And this is great for easily ensuring legal compliance and protecting information such as personal identity information, health information, and classified data. And this extended redact feature stores the redacted files in PDF format as public variant. And next, again, a quick video showing how redactions are done by using this feature.
In this video, we'll take a look at how to use the redaction feature in 360 to easily hide sensitive or confidential information before sharing files with others. We'll start with an example case that includes a few sample documents. Let's open the one called Lorem Ipsum. This document contains a file that needs to be redacted before it can be shared. We'll begin by opening the file into the 360 file viewer. Once the file is open, we can see its contents and start redacting as needed. One convenient way to redact is to use the text selector tool. With this tool, we can highlight any section of text and redact it easily. The redacted text will be covered with a black overlay, making it unreadable. We can also add a reason for the redaction, which will be stored along with the redacted content. Another easy way to redact content is by using the search feature. Here, we can search for a specific word or phrase. After running the search, we can quickly redact all occurrences of that word. We can also manually redact content by drawing a rectangle over any part of the file. This is useful for redacting non-text elements or custom areas. You can also use the view mode, a handy feature that lets you peek beneath your redactions. It's a quick way to double-check that you've covered the right sections. Once we've finished redacting, we click the Upload to 360 button and confirm. At this point, 360 burns the redactions into the file and saves the redacted version into the system. This version is stored as a public file variant, ensuring that any publicly accessible version of the document does not reveal sensitive information. To see the redacted file, we can go to the version history of the file. There, we'll see the redacted version listed. By opening it, we see that the sensitive content has been successfully hidden. That was a quick overview of how to use the redaction feature in 360. For more details, please refer to the 360 user help documentation.
Yes, that's how it works, but how to get it? Well, requirements are to have the 360 file viewer module and the 360 Information Act request module. And by switching on a setting in 360 Administrator, you will be able to do reductions for documents in all cases. Also see the release notes for details about the setting. And that is all from me today. Thank you. And now I guess it's back to you, Morten.
Thank you, Panu. And maybe just picking up on this last presentation that Panu did on Information Act request. So this was about the availability of the redaction functionality. We have also added another feature specific to the Information Act request module, and this is what we call access request reports. So the background for access request reports is sometimes you get requests for very large volumes of documents for various reasons. It might be just that you get this large burst. It also might be that the citizen requests access to a topic or an area, and this sometimes is difficult to process, or there is a pre-processing at least. So this means that we are now offering support for access request reports. It generates an overview and a full document with the content. So that means that one file is actually the overview of everything selected, and the other file is then the merged content of all the files. It's available both inside the search, but also on the access request case itself. And as mentioned, yeah, so it consists of a Word overview, because this is typically the file that you want to edit before you send it out, and also the merged PDF. For very large reports, there is a merge process, which also means that users get a notification once that the actual file is produced. The background here, as mentioned, is typically these very, very large scenarios, and specifically sometimes you want to send out to the applicant to say, okay, this is everything that we have found. Can you please inform us on which documents you actually want to receive? It can also be used for internal sort of pre-approvals, where you send this through management to say, this is what I plan to send out. This is the body of work. So this is kind of how it works. If we look at how this plays out inside Public 360, then on the access request case itself, there's now a new function available on case functions for produce the access request report. Once you click on this, you will get a notification that the processing starts. And this will result in a new document that is stored separately on the access request. And you see this at the bottom on the right-hand side here, where you have two different files, one being the report content, meaning all the merged files, and the other one being the report overview, which is the Word file containing all the metadata of the information. That is then fully editable and possible, of course, to ship out. We also support this through search, so you can actually do a search or a search favorite that you sort of build and modify over time, and then generate a report of the selections that can then be a basis for an access case creation, which can, as I said, come in handy if it is a very large volume of files that you want to process. So this is part of the Information Act Request module and will be available from version 6.5 and onwards for the online customers. Then switching focus a little bit, let's talk about our AI offerings. And as you might recall, we have two AI enhanced modules at the time, 360 Mimir and 360 Archive Inspector. For Mimir that we released earlier this year, we have done some improvements in Mimir. One is really how you access or how you enable your users to access 360 Mimir. So now we have added a specific access group for this. It's a system generated access group where you can add or remove members, and then that controls who actually gets access to through the Mimir icon in the solution. So this means that if you want to limit who actually gets access to this information for various reasons, this is now possible. Default, every user with role of administrator or registrar or archivist is by default included, but can of course be modified. Second, Mimir was initially announced across all markets, but limited to Public 360. Now we also support Plan and Build 360. So anyone, especially from the Plan and Build community, who is interested, please reach out either through your point of contact or specifically your sales representative to hear more. We are also constantly looking at ways to improve the setup experience and reduce the amount of manual labor to set up our modules. And this time we have done what we call automatic endpoint configuration. And I suppose the main point here is that we are trying to automate much more of the process, meaning both less time spent, but also less discussions really on the setup part. Then moving on to Archive Inspector. This time we are announcing support for public variant. So that basically means that if you use Archive Inspector and you view a document report where a file has a public variant, this is now indicated on the file. Then you can open that public variant in File Viewer and view this and compare to the internal version for when you are reviewing sensitive information. And at the end of the day, this is about ensuring that it's easier to verify that the information is publicly available when receiving or when reviewing sensitive content. Now we want to talk about functional improvements, both in technical nature and sort of throughout the module chain, including, by the way, eArchive 360. Ville, do you want to take us through the next section?
Yes. Hello. So yes, we can jump ahead into the core functionality. One feature that we have been made official now is supporting global configuration of columns in our new web parts. That might be a bit difficult to understand, but it's we have several new views in 360 and desktops, like the new advanced or the new global search, where you can have user-defined columns for what you want to see. And now with 6.5, we have now enabled administrators to globally define these. So for instance, for global search, you can then go ahead and say, okay, these columns should be visible for all users by default, or for these other web parts listed in this administrator view. This has been especially needed in eArchive, which I will come back to, because in eArchive we are using some unique fields that needs to be visible for all users. So that this is really useful and makes the whole user experience better for all the users. Next slide, please. And this feature is something that we know many have requested, because inside our web administrator we have today we have had different logging for certain settings and so on, but due to the complexity in parts of this administrator, like code tables and endpoint configuration and different registers, we have now added logging also to these. Although they are still in pilot, we do have some some polish, so it will be available in the after summer in the upcoming releases for the fall. But what that means is that you can then go in and see for instance, for a code table, you can go in and say, okay, what change was done to a certain entry, and what was the old value and what was the new one, and who did the change. And these can also be exported. So that's something we know many have been requesting, because this is obviously very important in case something breaks or something functionality changes. Yeah, so this will be part of the fall, but then at least now you know where this is very close to being publicly available. So next slide, please. This is a minor improvement, but increases the usability. As most administrators know, we have quite a lot of settings in our settings list related. Some are quite old, but also many new ones. And now with this change, it's now possible to see only those connected to a certain category. For instance, CIF or a request for access. You can then go and easily see all those grouped together. So this is a nice functional improvement also. So that's available for all users or admin users. Next slide. And then we've also done some changes to eArchive, where we have lifted this print to PDF functionality, which have been available in Public 360 and Plan and Build for quite a while, but now it's also available for advanced search on document and files, which means that you can do search and then you can choose those documents that you want to merge into one, and then it will produce a single PDF of all the files on those connected documents. This is a nice feature in case you want to do an export and send to someone else to get an overview over a certain category or a topic. There's also a setting related here, which is also just important to mention because you need to change that in case you want to use it for a lot of documents. So all those are standard and available in version 6.5. Next slide. And here I'm coming back to this the global search improvement, where we now for all users make this these two fields for the case numbers and document numbers used in eArchive, which is then visible for all users when they do a global search, because this is obviously with migrated data, this is what makes sense to see, and now you don't need to do manual steps anymore. So this is a great improvement, and hopefully will reduce the number of clicks for the eArchive users. Next slide. Scanning is another one of our modules, and it's definitely getting a lot more traction now, where in the whole quest for digitization and extracting text and valuable insight into data to use with AI, for instance. We've done improvements now with one of the tools that we use to do scanning, which has also been heavily tested with scanning into eArchive, where you can either scan directly to existing documents, or you can scan to our unregistered documents web part. And it's been and in that category, we've added use of QR codes for attachment, which makes it easier to do batch scanning of multiple files. So this requires a setup with scanning software and so on to process those files. But yeah, so that's been a much requested feature to get more use of QR codes and scanning also into eArchive. So this goes for both Plan and Build 360 and eArchive now with scanning. So contact your consultants or sales for more info if you need to digitize a lot of documents. Next slide. So that was some core functionality and some nice eArchive improvements. Now we're over to integrations. So back to you, Morten, or Olga.
Yes, thank you, Willy. So Morten, let's just jump right into what's new in integrations. Yes, we introduced Delta Sync for our SIF integrations, and that means instead of transferring all data every time, now you can only sync what's changed since the last update. And that means faster syncing, less bandwidth usage, and more scalable API integrations. So you specify a last date parameter and only get what changes since that date. Let's go to the next slide now. We have quite a few improvements in our automation module Autosaver. So first of all, Autosaver now has a smarter mapping with document origin tracking, path-based placeholders for flexible field mapping, and also expression functions to enable you to do data transformations inline. For example, you can extract a substring or change date format in the data directly. And that gives you much more control over automation and how data gets archived. Let's go to the next improvements for Autosaver on the next slide. So you can now archive emails to existing documents instead of creating new documents each time. And this is perfect for example, ongoing discussions, such as legal discussions you might have, because it keeps all related emails neatly organized under one document instead of multiple places. So let's go to the next one. So next improvement within Autosaver is for our Norwegian customers, and this is improvement to Landbruks Direktoratet integration within Autosaver. We have added a new estate validation settings so that admins can choose whether they want to validate estates against the database or just use this information for classification. And we also improved content handling. So it gives administrators, again, more flexibility to choose whether to block processing or continue when contexts are missing. Yes, that was all for now about Autosaver. New things coming all the time, so stay tuned. But let's go to the next improvement that we delivered. This is improvements for Folkeregister integration, which is called Infotork. Again, it is relevant for our Norwegian customers mostly. And Infotork now has better reporting. So no result responses are tracked separately, and system failures are now show clear status messages instead of false success indicators. And that's it for now from integrations. More to come, so do stay tuned. And over to you, Morten.
Thank you, and thank you both to Villy and Olga for a really impressive walkthrough. And I think a few reflections for me before we go to the roadmap. First of all, most of, or pretty much everything that we just went through in the latest parts of the presentation is all a result of our close dialogue with our customers, where we get constant feedback and constantly seek to improve both the standard product capabilities and the specific features that we're working on, and the new modules as we are releasing it. So please keep on interacting, keep on suggesting. We do actually pay attention, and we do try to constantly do small and gradual improvements. Then just touching briefly on some of the highlights that I think we just went through. So in the section by Villy Koch, he opened with talking about these global config columns. And it might sound a little bit sort of technical, but really this is about our constant aim to improve the flexibility of the solution and ensure that the solution looks and feels like your product. So this is one initiative among many, but really important in that direction. And then second, of course, just highlighting the ability to now provide better logging in 360 admin, something that we know that many of our customers have requested, also for sort of audit information, who changed what and when. Then talking a little bit about what we just went through in the integrations, I want really to emphasize here the value of the Autosaver functionality. To me, I think Autosaver is one of the lowest hanging fruits in terms of reducing manual labor and sort of reaping benefits of automation. Simple to set up, and it really deals with the entire automation of document registration, ensuring that we both decide what is to be archived and how it's supposed to be archived. So reach out to any of us if you want to discuss this more. Right, so now we have gone through what we have released. Obviously, we are not stopping here. So I will just end up with having a brief overview. And there's a lot of things underneath this that has been talked about in this section also that's not available, that's not showed in this slide. This is sort of the high level track. But if you remember the pillars in the beginning, then what we're doing here is trying to use things in a slightly similar fashion. If we're looking at the UI and the design, then what we are working on now, and I think what we have been discussing previously, is the full flex UI So even though we haven't talked about it in this particular presentation, we are doing a lot of work right now in the flexibility on how you do case creation, how you deal with case details, as well as both contact and activity. All this obviously is about to ensure better control over how both the creation and the update experience is, but also ensuring that our existing customized customers who are now on premise have a smooth and easy migration towards our cloud solutions. In the automation and transparency, I want to highlight a few different things. First of all is the work that we are now doing on the business rules engine. A business rules engine is basically a set of customer or segment specific rules. And a rule can be as easy as, if I have a case of a certain type, then I can't close the case unless there is a decision document and that document has actually been dispatched to the applicant. That might be a rule. It might also be a rule that you can't you can't create or you can't have a case with no documents in status finalized. So it's anything and everything that makes your solution unique. We will be talking a lot more about this in upcoming sections. Next, I just want to talk about the Rapid Development Framework. Rapid Development Framework is a new concept of AI-enhanced product development. It is a way both for us to do faster internal product development, but it's also a way of dealing and delivering faster development that is customer unique or customer specific, where we now have a completely new tool set for doing things like processes, external applications that can be linked into the system. So this is really a game changer in the way that we can do bespoke solutions still within the framework of a standard case and document management solution. We already talked about OpenGov. When on AI, then obviously we have released Mimia AI, and we're continuing to work on this. We will also look into things like AI-assisted search and reporting, something that I know that many in this call are interested in, and also AI-supported document and case summarizations. Further down the line, the expectation is that we will start having a stab at what we call case time prediction. So basically, constantly monitoring a case on how, what is the probability of closing the case within 1 week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, etc. Basically ensuring that you meet your internal quality standards. And then finally, under expert domain knowledge, many things that we can highlight, but here maybe 3 things. First of all is the announcement of 360 Collect that we will do a separate release event on soon. This is an e-service offering allowing us to do forms publishing and doing citizen requests and citizens filling out forms, supporting different types of authentication and authorization mechanisms, and connecting into Public 360. The second part of that equation is what we call 360 Engage. 360 Engage is an app. It's a citizen app where you as an organization can provide different types of capabilities, including forms and informations and guides and everything else generated from Collect or from OpenGov or anyone else. And then finally, our e-manager offering. Our e-manager offering is a solution for mobile first targeted managers and specifically targeted decision processes like approvals, meeting preparations, etc. So there will be substantial new functionality and improvements coming out of this section. This is this was the presentation this time. Thank you so much for attending. And as mentioned in the opening, we have tried to answer most questions during the session. We will review everything and we will revert if any questions are not answered. And of course, feel free to reach out to me, to the rest of the team, to your representative. As you can hear also in this presentation, we love talking about our products. We love trying to help our customers getting more value out of it. On behalf of the entire product team, I want to say thank you. I hope you enjoyed the content of this presentation. Have a splendid and fantastic day.